Hi viewers, welcome to our channel Learn Through Aspire. Today's topic is how to do an significant aspect and impact analysis. We all think who needs to carry out aspect and impact study. Ask yourself, are you using any kind of natural resources? Natural resources in the form of sun, forest, rock, minerals, air, water, and fuel, etc. Ask again yourself, are we generating any kind of waste? It may be organic waste, glass, paper, metal, plastic, e-waste and inorganic waste, whatever it may be. If the answer is yes, we are all responsible to do an aspect and impact analysis. Are you keen to know that how can we do aspect and impact analysis? The first thing what we need to do is how to create aspect and impact study. First, we need to develop a methodology, then we need to determine the aspect and impact, then need to find out the significant aspect and impact based on the criteria. And we need to determine the control for significant aspects and we need to implement the control. Then we need to identify or monitor or review the control what we have implemented based on the significant aspect and impact. The first and foremost thing what we need to do for an aspect and impact study, we need to develop a methodology or procedure for carry out aspect and impact study. The next thing what we need to do is we need to establish a cross-functional team with a multidisciplinary approach. Each and every process owner should be a member of this cross-functional team. What we need to do is we need to involve the process owners or operators who are all familiar with their work related activities because process owners and operators are working on day to day basis because they are having more knowledge than us. Next step what need to do is establish a process flow. Then we need to do and we need to collect all the relevant inputs. The relevant input in the sense of in the form of material safety data sheet because for a one process we are using any kind of chemicals. If you are using any kind of chemicals, that chemical properties and other related are available in the material safety data sheet. The same wise we need to collect all the relevant inputs what we have and what we needed. And then we need to define what are the activities we are performing and what are the products we are producing and what are the services we are doing. So then we need to define the activities, products and services. The next thing what we need to do is we need to categorize whether it is a routine activities or non-routine activities we are performing and also we need to categorize the operating conditions whether it is a abnormal, normal or emergency situations. If you see the routine activities is nothing but the day-to-day activities what we are performing on regular basis. If you see the non-routine activities or situations are facility or equipment cleaning, temporary process or modifications, non-scheduled maintenance, plant or equipment startup or shutdown, off-site visit and etc. And also we need to consider the emergency situations as well. Next thing is we need to do the mass balancing diagram. First, what we did is we list out all the activities, all the products and services what we are doing at our organization. Then we need to do a mass balancing, because each and every inputs, whatever the set of interrelated and interacting element which converts input into output is called a process. So we are producing a product. If you are producing a product, many processes have involved. For each and every process, we need to do the environmental aspect and impact study. I have given an example for DG operations. For DG operation, what is the input we are giving is diesel. Diesel we are giving, and set of activities is being performed in a DG, and the output what we are getting is the electricity. The 100% of input is converted into 99% of output or 80% of output, that is electricity. Other than that, we are having some kind of losses in the form of noise, smoke, spillages, and then etc. It is based on the process. The wastages may be, and the source or pathway may be, the migration pathway may be differ. The losses should be there for each and every process. The next thing what we need to do is we need to determine the environmental aspects. For environmental aspects, for converting the input into environmental aspects, there are two keywords we need to use. One is usage or consumption. The second thing is while we are converting the activities into environmental aspects, whether it can be a release or generation, we need to use as a keyword. And while we are converting the output into aspect, it may be a generation. The generation is a keyword we are going to use. We are happy to inform that we are also providing the online courses, online certified courses we are providing. The training topics related to automotive topics, ISO standards, lean concepts, technical topics, and other QC analytical tools. The training topics, course timing, and fee structures are given in the brochure. You could find the brochure details in our description box. If you are interested, you can reach me out in the given contact details. The next thing what we need to do is we already identified the list of activities, and for list of all those activities we did a mass balancing diagram, and mass balancing diagram is converted into a environmental aspects. After that, what we need to do is we need to create we need to determine the environmental impacts. Environmental impacts is nothing but environmental pollutions. Pollution because of pollutant. The pollutant, there are three form. One is solid form, and another one is liquid form, and third one is gaseous form. Based on the example, I just given the DG operations initial aspect and impact study. As I said earlier, the consumption, the diesel is the input which we are giving for a DG operation. I just converted the input into aspect. I used the word is consumption of, and the generation of smoke is the output. The generation of is a keyword which I used for converting the output into aspect. For consumption of diesel, what is the impact is resource depletion, and the generation of smoke is again air pollution, and generation of noise is again noise pollution. Identified environmental aspects, we need to give some criteria, or we need to give some kind of rating. Based on the rating, we could able to identify and we could able to get the significant environmental impacts. The significant environmental impacts can be done in a qualitative analysis or quantitative analysis. The first ranking what we are look into it, scale of impact. The scale of, based on the scale of impact, I just given rank 4 to rank 1. It is may differ based on the organizational requirement. Second thing what we need to do is we need to look it into severity of impact. Again, it is a rank 5 to 4. 5 to 1 I have considered, and we need to give the scoring criteria for each and every impact. The third thing what we need to do is we need to identify the probability of occurrence. Based on the probability of occurrence, we need to give the ranking from 4 to 1. We need to determine the deduction or duration. The same way, the ranking from 4 to 1. After determining the significant aspects rating, we also need to consider the legal requirements, interested parties requirement including immediate neighborhood and natural resources depletions, which is particularly for non-renewable energies. So we given the scoring criteria. The scoring is severity, scalability, probability of occurrence and deduction or duration. The multiplication of all the four values is considered as a risk priority number. The risk priority value may differ. Some rating we fix as a organizational requirement. Some companies they use 36 or some companies use 100. Based on the RPN value, we need to do the operational controls or some other controls we need to provide for the significant aspects. We also need to consider while we are determining the significant aspects irrespective of RPN value, the scale and the severity of the problem and the legal and interested parties concerned also need to be considered, and resource saving potential and emergency situations or emergency conditions also need to be considered while we are determining the significant aspects irrespective of RPN value. Same way I have given the DG operation significant aspect impact analysis. The first three column we already discussed the initial aspect and impact review. Then I have given the severity of impact, scalability, probability of occurrence, deduction. So all the four multiplication value into 144. In some companies I have already said the 100 is the RPN value. If it is a greater than 100, we need to take action or we need to control the significant impact. So I just given as an example of DG operations. We got the list of significant aspects. So based on the significant aspects, we need to determine the control. For determining the control, we need to review what is the existing control we are following. First thing what we need to do is there any control available or not? First we need to check. If it is no, immediately we need to initiate the environmental management program. If the control is available, then we need to check whether the control is adequate or not. If it is not adequate, we need to initiate the environmental management program. The environmental management program, we shortly call it as EMP. If it is adequate control, we need to establish the operational control procedure or operational criteria and we need to implement it. If the controls are not adequate and not available, based on the review of existing controls, we need to propose additional controls as well. The additional controls should also consider the hierarchy. What is a hierarchy? If you see EZIP I have given, EZIP is nothing but elimination, substitution, engineering control, administrative control or signage and then PPE. These things needs to be considered while we are determining the additional controls or proposal for additional controls with the focus to protecting the environment, and also we need to prevent of pollution and other specific commitments. Based on the significant aspect criteria, we identified the significant aspects and we reviewed the existing control and we already proposed the new controls. The proposed control needs to be implemented somewhere. For implementing all those things, what are the actions needs to be carried out? While we are planning for actions, the organization shall consider establishing the environmental objectives or environmental management programs, identifying the needs for operational controls and what purpose we need to do. And the third thing is what we need to do is we need to establish types and levels of controls. The identified actions needs to be implemented and it needs to be done in a planned manner. This is how The aspect and impact study need to be carried out and the actions needs to be implemented. Clear cut idea about the aspect and impact analysis and the significant aspect and impact analysis. If you have any queries, you can reach me out in the given mail ID. Thank you for watching our channel. Have a nice day.